I had down next was I wanted to talk about travel ball with you,
Okay.
because we were talking about your high school and just the different mindset, but and as far as coaching, whether you had coaching or didn't coaching, and I understand that you didn't really play travel ball, right, until your junior or senior year or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Yep. Junior year in high school was my first season playing travel ball, and that's another thing so we didn't have a lot of money growing up. We weren't poor, but we weren't. We didn't have money like that. Um, I say like lower middle class, and so we didn't have money for lessons and travel ball and all that stuff or new gear and stuff like that. So like my dad kind of made it like he wouldn't make fun of the kids, but like we kind of like, oh, look at that guy got a new bat. He thinks he could hit. So it was like almost like you didn't want to be one of those guys. Like you're better than those travel ball kids, and you could do it what you're doing here. You're better than them playing over here. Like so that was the kind of attitude I grew up with travel ball,
Mm.
and and I didn't play ever until my junior year of high school. And then I played for a team that was like full of studs. Like there ended up like 6 or 7 guys getting drafted up.
Really?
Zach Greinke was on that team.
Really?
Yeah. Like absolute studs. Like these were the best of the best guys out of all of Florida. So it wasn't like like there's a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot of watered down travel ball teams now. Everybody's playing travel ball from 8 years old till up, so it's a totally different thing. Like back then, I don't even know if there was an 8-year-old travel ball team. I don't know. I don't remember the first time that I was offered to play travel ball, but it wasn't like it is now. And if it was, there were the guys were, it was a better team. I thought back then, at least when I was playing. Yeah, we're talking about in the '90s. When I was
Right. Well, what made you play with that one team? Like how did you did your dad like help make that decision? I mean, you didn't play for that long, and then all of a sudden to make the decision to play with that team, was it just because they were so good and you were trying to get recruited for college, or like what made you make the decision?
I think they saw me pitching somewhere, or they heard about me or something, because I was doing well and big, big and throwing hard.
Yeah, sure.
I was a draftable body for sure back then. And I think that they pitched it to my mom and dad, like, he needs this to go, if he wants to play college or pro ball, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I think they bid on it, and we did it, and it was good. I actually did terrible that season.
Really?
Yeah, I did terrible. I started gaining weight. That was another thing my dad told me was, you gotta start eating, you gotta start gaining more weight, you gotta start lifting and stuff. So I got into the gym, I got really big, and I was eating everything. I went from 180 pounds to 240 pounds in high school. Yeah. But that doesn't translate to the pictures now, So, but that just happened to be during that time. And then I realized I got to 240 and I'm like out of breath, throwing like 80 miles an hour. I'm like, all right, this is not working. But in the long term, it did work because my body developed so much. I was like a grown man. I have a picture hanging in my room or my office that is of our high school baseball team. And I'm there with my friends, but they look like little children. And I'm just like this big, like my body was so more developed than theirs.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because I spent the whole 6 months going crazy in the gym, eating. I was 240 pounds, like
As a high school
kid, 6'4". Yeah. Like, so, and once I got my mobility back and chilled out in the weight room a little bit, then it translated well to the mound. So that was a huge benefit.
What's your opinion of travel ball as a whole, I guess, what like now, because obviously it's changed.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
No.
I think, especially at the younger ages, I've got a lot of friends whose kids play travel ball, and I love them and respect them, and I've talked to them, and for me, it's not what I want my son to be doing. The weekend, spending all the weekends traveling, and I know some of the younger teams, they don't travel far, but for us, I want those weekends off. Unfortunately, Little League is not that much better these days. Our Little League, we have late games, man. We're playing 8 o'clock at night for 8-year-olds. and they're getting done 9:30. He's not going to bed till 10 something. Like, I'm like, "Man, what are we doing here on school nights,
Wow.
So I don't like that either. I wanted to start a team this season and try to figure out something in between. That was my goal, was to make a team of players and parents that I knew were committed and were good and wanted to grow together, but also not spend weekends playing tournaments, just schedule games here or there, maybe a double header, and then practice, develop.
Right.
That would be my ideal goal, but it's a lot of work. It's hard to do, and to schedule those teams and get the umpires and
Get the right players and parents for the
Right
team
players,
that buy into that mindset.
Yeah, because I got to sell the whole concept.
Right. It's a whole different
Nobody
concept.
knows I don't even know what it's called. It's not this, but it doesn't exist. It's not it's not rec ball, it's not travel ball. It's it's in the middle.
It's in the middle.
Where you need
Back to the balanced middle of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right?
But how do you explain that and sell people on that?
Yeah.
That's the tough part. But
Yeah.
so we're playing my son's playing little league right now, doing good, loving it, and we're happy. Besides being out so late, on some of these nights.
Yeah. So I mean, in an ideal world, you would say though, more practice at the young age, necessarily than the games. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the tournament play, playing 4 or 5 games a weekend is tough, man. And I used to train guys. I used to give lessons, and the young guys that started travel ball 8 years old, by 14, a lot of them were burned out.
Yeah.
They quit. They just didn't want to deal with it, or didn't want to, deal with their parents about. A lot of it was that, like, they're like, man, my dad's riding me, like, he just wants me to do that. Like, I don't want to. It's just like worn down.
Yeah.
From a young age, and I don't want that for my son. He's a multi-sport. He plays football. I played tackle football, flag football. He's playing basketball. We like to go to the park and play basketball. Hopefully we get to play basketball tomorrow. And I was the same way growing up. I played basketball and football when I was younger, but I think that's good for them.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content valuable.